Hello everybody, I'm Landa, aka a creative mommy of two, and welcome! Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. As you see, we have another WIP and Chat today. So, let's grab out your works in progress and let's have a chat, shall we? I have been good today, and I also even prepared something for you. And I think I need to change out my wax. Oh, it wasn't necessary. Well, let's grab my first color. And pick out the trash. So, how are you all today? I hope you had a wonderful week. I sure as hell had a crazy one, I can tell you that much. Well, it wasn't actually crazy. Off to a good start today. It's not that much a crazy week, it's more an exhausting week. Well, yeah, it's one of those weeks. Last week the kids had multiple days that, well, actually almost the whole week. They have of those days that are like whiny and fussy and don't want to sleep and just being regular pain in the behinds, I almost want to call. So yeah. Or like, is it almost like a full moon, because there is like an old wives' tale. Well, that goes well today. There is an old wives' tale that involves the full moon. Well, actually there are two. One of them is when it's a full moon, babies that are born are most likely girls. Which is just a 50-50 shot. So, yeah. And the other one is that apparently around full moon kids are more annoying and have more of a temper, don't want to sleep, and yeah. So we, for fun of it, just looked it up, and there isn't a full moon, but if I'm not mistaken, the 27th or 28th of April this year, so 2021, it should be a super moon. So we're like, yeah, it isn't a full moon, it's a super moon. Yay, so it's a super week. Yeah. As of now, they're holding it onto it. It's now like day 4. And yeah, both of the kids are fussy and whiny and don't want to sleep, don't want to eat. Yeah. Obviously, it's just them throwing a temper tantrum, but yeah. At a certain point, you're like just done with it. At least I am. I have much patience, but when it's every freaking day, the whole flipping same story, it's kind of getting annoying. Because especially when my daughter, she is, well, she might know, she is 2.5. She turns 3 in June, the end of June. She has quite a big vocabulary, and she also knows the word no very, very well. Soon as I go to pick her up out of bed in the morning, she starts it with, no, don't wanna stay in bed. And yeah, when it's 9:30, it's just like, you can stay in bed, well, you want, seriously. You can want to stay in bed as long as you want, but you are not gonna. So yeah, she throws a fuss then. then you can, she luckily will most of the times then turn okay. You can take her down, and then you want to give her some breakfast, and she's like, no, don't want this, no, don't want that, no, don't want this, no, don't want that. In the end, which means she doesn't want any. Which in my case is just like, okay, then you don't eat a thing. I'll give you 15 minutes, and then you start asking for a piece of bread or something, and then I can just give it to you. So I'm not going to fuss about it. Yeah. Like yesterday, she wanted me to pull up the curtains we have, like those, I don't know actually how you call them in English, but those blinds on the outside of the windows. You can roll up and down. We have them on electric, also like with a rope on the inside. I have no clue. I'll try to remember to look up how they are called and put it in the screen here somewhere. But it's, as far as I understood, even a very European thing. Those, well, I almost want to say blackout blinds. But yeah. She wanted me to pull them up because she wanted to look outside, and then when I went to go pull them up, she was like, no, don't pull up, don't pull up. And I was like, what the heck do you want, kid? Choose. So yeah, and I was like, okay, just sit tight. I'm not going to roll them up. She was like, roll them up. So I was like, okay, last time. Now I'm going to roll them up, whether you want to or not. And then she was again fussing that she didn't want to have them rolled up. So yeah. Fun times. Yeah, my son today didn't want to sleep either. Just before I started filming, I looked at the baby monitor and I saw his eyes glistening, so I knew he was awake. So I needed to wait a little bit longer for just in case he decided to throw in a fuss. But luckily he didn't. He just turned around and I think he fell asleep, but I couldn't see his face, so can't tell for sure. But at least he didn't start crying, so that's a plus. Yeah. Let's just say it's been one of those weeks. But yeah. All in all, minus the fussing, it was a good week, productive week. I've been doing a lot. But I mean a lot. Actually way too much. But yeah. As I told you before, last week, it was my birthday last week on Thursday, so we just made an easy day out of it. Been doing not much in the household, besides then, yeah, feeding the kids, changing diapers and that kind of stuff. Luckily, the little ones were okay with it, so they slept in, I believe, even till like 9:30 or something that I woke up. I was like, nice. Actually, they've been sleeping kind of good last week, only like, obviously the weekend, when we can all sleep in. They're like, nope, I'm awake at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So, yeah. That always means that my weekends have an early start. Wanting to or not, because I'm like, I don't work, so I personally don't think it's fair for me to ask my husband to get up in in the weekends earlier to get the kids out of bed, so just so I could lay down. Because like normally when he wakes up and the kids aren't fussing, I also stay in bed if he needs to work. So not that he needs to go out of bed really early, because we live quite close to where he works, so he can, well, he doesn't need to like drive an hour or something, so that's always nice. But yeah, it still means that I need to go up, and then most of the time it's like 1 or 2 hours later my husband shows up downstairs. But yeah, that's what I said even before we had the kids, when I was pregnant with my daughter, like, you're the one that works, I'm at home, I can also, well, now I can because my daughter doesn't take a nap in the afternoon, but I can take a nap when the kids nap. So I am the one who at night goes out of bed. Plus, beside that, I was the food source. So yeah, I needed to, wanted to or not. So yeah. Also, my son had like a few days last week then where he was like almost like at night. Luckily for us, it was just around the time we got to bed, not like when we were just sleeping. So that still makes it a little bit better, but he started to cry and fuss and do, and I think being hungry or something, because he isn't like really eating that good lately. But I think that becomes again, seriously, stumbling time. I think it comes that he eats so bad because he has like 4 teeth coming in at the same time. So I can imagine that it hurts. So most of the times we gave him like a, what's the word? Porridge, I think. Like a bottle with milk and a little bit of grains and stuff. So he has a little bit more filling. So yeah, most of the times he eats that before bed. But if he wakes up and he's acting hungry, because look, a couple of days ago he even bit in our hands. We're like, yeah, he's hungry, I'm going to make him something. So yeah, we got up, cuddled with him for a while. Then we noticed that he was hungry, made him some food, changed his diaper again, so he has like, he knows what's coming, he knows it's time for bed. Because that's his little ritual normally. So we did that, put him back in his bed, and luckily for us, it was okay then, but yeah. I'm glad when he isn't fussing as much. Yeah. That's what there's a kid for, but still it's annoying. Yeah, if you have kids, you probably know the struggle. Especially if you're like me and you need your sleep and you want your sleep. So yeah. But yeah, where I was going before this whole temper tantrum. Oh, seriously. I was actually just saying that normally everything goes okay. But yeah, my birthday, again, what I was saying, they let me sleep in. We just made a relaxed day out of it. Didn't do too much. everybody got into the shower and bath and in the bath and everything during the day. So when we had dinner, just took a nice stroll. We have like a fishing fishing pond, quite close, and we actually haven't been there before. So we walked a little bit to there, but because we walked to our neighborhood before, we couldn't make it too long. And it was quite beautiful. There were like a lot of different birds and there were a lot of mice running around. So that was fun. My daughter enjoyed looking if she could see them, but obviously with being a 2-year-old, she was way too noisy. Yeah. We did that, and after that, we did a movie night. Well, actually not movie, we watched WandaVision. Because the first few episodes we watched were just like, what, 20, 30 minutes? And we're like, yeah, in that rate we're going to be through that, and we don't want to be searching every time for like, okay, what's next to watch, and get like, I don't know how many different shows at the same time. So we waited, and we are now, well, we obviously just restarted last week, because before that we watched NCIS. We're almost up, so we needed like 2 or 3 episodes, I believe. We watched those, so we now need to watch the season 18 episode 12 it is, I believe, that's now on. But we probably will wait a few weeks until we have like 2 or 3 to watch at the same time, so we can make like a NCIS day, well, night out of it. So we watched that. Well, actually, Tuesday we did watch the last few NCIS. We did an extra movie night because I was like too tired to do anything on Thursday? Wednesday or Thursday? Don't know exactly which day it was, but one of the other days of the week. My weeks blend in together a little bit, so. And then we watched WandaVision, so we did 2 movie nights. But yeah, we did do that. I washed all my windows last week. Well, almost all windows. I need to be more specific. I cleaned all the windows that were replaced recently, because the other ones will do your dirty as hell. But we need to clean out our, well, balcony porch kinda thing. We call it a balcony because we have a house that is like on a hill, and our front door is at, well, ground level on the foreside, but on the back side of our house it is lower. So our basements have doors to the outside on the back of our house. So because of that, we have like a little bit of a balcony porch kinda contraption on the back of our house. So yeah, that needs a cleaning badly, because last time we cleaned that out properly was, don't need to be lying, but I think I was still pregnant with my daughter, so that would be 3 years ago now. So yeah, that needs a good cleaning. Maybe even a coat of paint, but that's a thing for another day. First we need to clean it, and then we'll just go from there. yeah, I cleaned all that. I also made again some food for my son. Because, yeah, he keeps eating, so I keep needing to make stuff. Still need to do the chicken tomorrow for him, because I started with him doing like everything separately, because now I can't do like one day of like meal prepping everything, so I can do everything in one portion. So I make a portion of vegetables, I make a portion of potatoes or rice or whatever, and a portion of meat, and so on, and freeze it in. With my daughter I made like one day, maybe two if I can fit it all in one day, and I made like everything. But yeah, 2 kids is a little bit too busy to do that, because yeah, my husband can also not do everything while I'm meal prepping. So yeah, I also did that. What else did I do? I made me some cover minders. You probably won't see them in the videos until a couple of weeks, because I am pre-filming it a little bit, so I still am working on the same project, but then I don't need to be sure to finish this part tonight, so I can edit it tomorrow and stuff. So I most of the times pre-film like a few parts. I'm now 2 parts ahead, so like in 2 weeks you will suddenly see the cover minders pop up. But if I have you on Facebook, you have already seen them. They're really tiny. They have a little bit bigger gems. Maybe I put them up on Facebook as well. I don't know for sure yet. But they're like tiny. Really tiny. But they're fun and cute. And I have like those kind of like brooches, like with one big gemstone and then a couple around them. Those I made today. And I also am using them today. Yeah, and I made then some ladybugs in different colors. Actually made like one of every color I have, only not from the gems. I just made 4 of the 10 I have, because I had 10 different colors, and I was like, okay, starting with 4, not doing everything at once. So yeah, 4 of those, and then every color of the ladybugs I have, and every color of the heart pieces I have. So they are like little hearts with kind of like a swirl in them. You know what, I'll just try to remember to pop in a picture of them over here somewhere, so you can see what I mean. But yeah, I think that will be it what I've been doing last week. Because yeah, most of the times I'm just basically doing the same. Yeah. Basically my regular day life here is basically the same. Getting up, having breakfast, play something with the kids, having lunch, playing again with the kids, change some diapers somewhere in between, put the littlest in bed, most of the time somewhere between 11 and 12. And yeah. Yeah, an afternoon like playing, taking a walk. It's not that we can go somewhere with the current situation. So, but I'm glad with the whole situation. Seriously, talking hard today. But yeah, I was saying like Wednesday. So when I'm filming this, it's the day after tomorrow, or the day when I upload it, or however days ago you watch this. There, well, the non-essential shops can open again. Until now, if you wanted to go to a non-essential store, or at least the last few weeks it was like that, you needed to make an appointment at least 4 hours before you wanted to go, to obviously stop people from shopping anyway. And yeah, that was kind of a pain in the behind. I did use that once in a store called The Action. Don't know if you have it where you're there, where you're from. I know it's it is a Dutch chain with like really cheap discount stuff, and it's, for some stuff it is amazing. For some stuff, well, you basically get what you pay for. But it's also sometimes like products that have like a little flaw in them. That will happen, at least in my opinion. So at least in that way, when obviously it didn't, seriously, today is one of those days. I'm so sorry. But like, in my opinion, as I was saying, when a flaw in a product isn't like too extremely big, I get it that they just don't want to throw it out. I don't know if that is why the articles are so cheap, or because they are made probably mostly in China, and yeah, labor is less expensive there. I don't know. But you have many times stuff that is like, some stuff is like there throughout the year, and some other stuff is like there today but isn't there next week. So it can be annoying when you want to try something first. But yeah, it is cheap, so for many things it is kind of nice, because especially for like the toys of the kids, they still need to be, well, they need to follow guidelines from Europe, so at least you know that toys and craft supplies and stuff like that are still good products. But you pay a whole load of less. So instead of using like the brand Play-Doh, for instance, for my kids, where I should pay like a lot. You have the idea sometimes that it is like 10 euros for like 4 or 5 of those little tubs, but I don't think it's that extreme, but I got it now for 5 bigger of those pots, and they were, I believe, 2 euros. So that way it isn't so bad if, well, the lid isn't on tight. So yeah, I don't want to waste my money on things that are like craft supplies for the kids that will be potentially be used once and then thrown out. I'd rather spend it then on the craft supplies that will be used multiple times or something, or like the basic supplies, or so yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of stuff that I needed to have from there, so I was like, yeah, I don't know when the shops will open regularly, so I'm just going to do it. And was like, yeah, we have a load of stuff we need from there, so yeah, you might as well better do it. And of course, with it being like discount store, like a, what is it, Target, dollar shop, dollar store, whatever, those kind of, like the quote unquote cheap stuff. Yeah, most of the times those stores, you go for this and you end up with a whole lot more. So yeah, that's what happened. But yeah. So yeah, my plans for next week aren't really spectacular. Need to go to do some shopping on Friday because I have ordered some stuff and that didn't fit, so I am going to the physical store and hope they have my size there, or at least the right size. Yeah, and then Saturday my parents are coming to celebrate our birthdays because until now you can have just one person over to visit, and now from then the 28th you can have 2 people over per day. So we're like, okay, we can celebrate at least our son's first birthday a little bit because, yeah, it's not fun. So yeah, my parents will come on Saturday and we will, well, basically throw our own birthdays in at the same time. Because yeah, as I mentioned before, my birthday was last week and my husband's birthday is at the same time as my son's birthday. So yeah, he had a fun birthday last year. Yeah, poor thing. He came into bed on his birthday to go to sleep. I was having a really bad day the day before, so I was already in bed and sleeping and all. So he came in. Obviously, I woke up, I turned around, and my rudder broke. So yeah, as my labor, at least the parts before the C-section with my daughter, went pretty quick, because I was like, they were like, are you sure you want to have a C-section? Because she looks pretty small and looks to be going pretty quick. And we're like, yeah, she is breech, so we want that, unless the doctor or gynecologist isn't quick enough, and my daughter is quicker. Making a fun of out of it. So they were like, what? Do you want a C-section or not? And I was like, yeah, I want, but how long will it take the doctor to get out of surgery? Because there were multiple people that needed a C-section at the same time. And because at the moment that we came in, I didn't have any contractions, I was put down on the list. Because, well, that could wait. Because, yeah, if you know you're having a C-section and you have already contractions coming in, yeah, it's useless to have them, basically. I can understand it. We're like, yeah, if you don't have anything like contractions or anything now, and our daughter was doing good, so there was like no reason that they needed to be quicker. But once those damn things started to having contractions at, well, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and because she was laying breech, I couldn't go up. I was at 9 o'clock like, okay, I need to have something like an epidural, because this I am not going to hold. This isn't fun, because I couldn't move around, and yeah, didn't feel good. Obviously, they are contractions. It isn't fun. They aren't made enjoyable, sadly. So yeah, they came in, they checked, and were like, okay, you're already at 3 centimeters dilated, so that goes quickly. And we're like, yeah, and how long will the doctor take? Well, I don't know. And apparently there was like an emergency C-section right in between, so, well, yeah, it took longer. So yeah, I eventually still needed to wait till like 10 o'clock, a little over, I believe, 10:15 at night, when they came to bring me down to the surgery room. So yeah, wasn't fun. But yeah, I was staying with my son. I also then didn't have any contractions, but yeah, my gynecologist told me as soon as your water breaks or you're noticing that you're having contractions, you need to call to come in because, well, yeah, last time it did go quickly, so we don't want to have you, yeah, too late. Because I had a C-section, I needed to be delivering my baby in the hospital, so they couldn't take any chances of it going too quickly and me not making it to the hospital. But yeah, in the end, this one didn't want to come out as quickly, sadly for me. Still went pretty quick because it was from when my water broke, I believe 13.5 hours before he was born. That was including waiting on the team that, yeah, did the C-section. Because the team they were already having were doing another surgery. So yeah. But yeah, this time also was like an hour before my contractions started. Yay. Fun times, fun times. But yeah, with my daughter I just had the regular contractions. With my son I had belly contractions, back contractions, leg contractions, like every kind of damn thing you can imagine. I was later on talking with one of the midwives that I have in like my own practice, where we did our checkups, because here you have like a regular midwife and they are like completely certified and stuff and are like almost the same as the labor and delivery personnel in the hospital, only then they can help you in the hospital as long as you don't need like a medical, well, yeah, medical gynecologist there. They can help you, or you can even deliver your baby at home with their assistance. They know everything about it and are certified for it. So she was like telling that at least she thought that I had like a quite big pain barrier, and was like, well, you haven't obviously seen me with my delivery, because like within I think 2 hours of having the contractions I was like, okay, I'm done with this, I want an epidural. Because I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't hang, I couldn't do nothing. So I was like, yeah, this I am not going to do for the whole day, because I was like, I think 2 centimeters dilated in the meanwhile. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. If I was already at 8 or something, I would have gone through with it. But yeah, not with one. I was like 3 centimeters. And I knew I had one before because he made like a head start, but didn't go through with it at about 35 weeks. But he stayed put for like another 4 weeks after that. Just wanted to annoy me. But yeah, at that point I was so done with it. I was like, I also told the midwife like, yeah, you seriously haven't seen me there? And she was like, yeah, those contractions are hell. I don't know if she had them with her own deliveries, but yeah. If you don't know how you can stand or sit or whatever, yeah, I applaud you if you can go through with that for like half a day. I was knackered with from a few hours, so yeah. So I was glad when I had an epidural. And especially once, well, the next few hours went pretty slow. But then like from 1 hour I went from 5 to 9. And we're like, oh no, nice. The next time we check, you're probably at 10 and you can start pushing. Oh yeah, that didn't happen. We looked an hour later, still 9 something. And it was like just an edge too small. And I also didn't have like the pushing contraction, so yeah. Couldn't like help it along. So yeah, they gave me the medicine to help it along a bit. That didn't help. Yeah, the whole time, like actually the whole time, since I started in the beginning, my contractions, baby was many times his heart rate dropped like till 80 or something, and well, yeah, that wasn't how they wanted. So especially like around the end, by the advice of the doctors, I stayed at my side most of the times because he was most happy with it, but sometimes I needed to roll over because with the epidural staying on my side, part of the epidural is like not reaching everywhere, so yeah, I didn't want to feel him constantly. So yeah, wasn't fun. And then after like the second time they checked, still the same, and they were like, yeah, we don't we don't want, well, to panic you to say it like that, but they were like, yeah, we're not going to wait like more than 4 hours to get to the 10 centimeters from 9 out, because I already had a C-section before. They don't know if, well, to say it bluntly, my body had a reason, like my pelvis was too small or anything, so they didn't know that. So we're like, yeah, we better can, in that case, prepare you better for a C-section than in the end like waiting 10 hours and the baby's heart rate drops suddenly and you need to do a emergency C-section. Now they had like the time to prepare everything, and they didn't like needed to jump in and go. So yeah, that's the thing. They decided like an hour later, like, hey, maybe because it's still not progressing, we should better say like, hey, you know what, we are going to do the C-sections, or like, yeah, let's just do that. So yeah, we did that, but yeah, they needed to call the backup team, but they forgot one of the gynecologists that needed to do the surgery. So yeah, instead of needing to wait 20 minutes, we needed to wait 40 minutes, and apparently once that doctor was there, they forgot to tell the labor and delivery ward that I needed to come down. So yeah, we heard them in the hallway saying like, oh, they didn't tell us that she could come, and yeah, well, they obviously told my name, but I'm not going to call my last name. Still need some privacy. So yeah, and then right after that they came in, and it was like, yeah. And then at the surgery they said like, before my husband came in, like, yeah, they forgot to call me. So the gynecologist was like, yeah, it needed to be done before, but yeah, he forgot me. So yeah, I needed to come in, and yeah, that took a little bit longer than expected. And then they forgot, well, yeah, me, what was is kind of an important part. Having an expectant mom in surgery when you're doing a C-section. One without one is hard. But yeah. Obviously, I'm sad by the fact that I didn't deliver my babies natural. But in the end, it was the best choice for my kids. So yeah, that's what I decided to do. My kids go first. So yeah, that day will be a year ago next Sunday. So yeah, where I started with the whole temper tantrum. Well, temper tantrum. It's not a tantrum because I'm not mad at it. Before I started the whole labor and delivery story. I was telling you how we celebrate the birthdays next week. Well, next weekend. So yeah, my parents will come Saturday and my husband's parents will come Sunday. So yeah, let's see how long I have been rambling today. 64 minutes. It's a long one today. Because I have prepared something and I said that in the beginning, so I'm just going to do that. If you don't want to listen to me ramble, you can split it in multiple parts, you know that. And you can also decide to stop watching if I annoy you too much. And if you do enjoy hearing me ramble and stumble over my own words and everything, you're welcome to stay and watch. Or just hear me ramble and work on your own projects, as I most of the times do with WIP and Chat. Well, videos from other creators. Most of the times I actually like it when they're long, because then I don't need to refocus my brain on somebody else, to say it like that. Let me know if you like long ones or short ones, because if most people say, oh, well, my maximum of listening to you is a half an hour, I'll just make them shorter for you. If you don't care. Nice. Thanks. And then, yeah, sometimes I can do a longer one. But yeah, as I was saying, I had something prepared for you. Like last week, my husband was watching, scrolling through the internet, and he came across something that made us giggle. And I was like, hey, you know what? That actually is quite a good idea. So it was the following. It was a picture of a Dutch place name, but then put in like a picture. You saw like a laptop with a screen open, obviously, with a Zoom chat. And on that Zoom chat, you only saw mountains. So it was mountains on Zoom. If you translate it in Dutch, you get bergen op Zoom. So yeah, translated, it's mountains on Zoom. Or if you translate it a little bit different, it is mountains on Seam. Because Zoom is as well, Zoom as a seam, which is actually like the most of the time the quote unquote proper translation. So that made me thinking, like, you know what, there actually are probably a lot of these place names that are strange when you just read them in your own language, but once you're going to translate them, they're even worse. For instance, the place where I grew up is called Budel-Dorplein. Budel, that's just the city it later became a part of. So that can go. From like the older times, it was just Dorplein. But once you actually, well, take the words apart and translate it, you get barren square. Like barren, like a barren tree. And square, like the area, not the shape. So yeah, I was like, that's strange. And I started to like think of other places that are just, well, throwing my drills around. That are like the same. And I came across quite a lot of them. So I compiled a list, and I'm just going to throw in a few. If you like them, let me know, and I'll just continue the list next week. Because I'm not going to do them all now. I know of a city here in the neighborhood that is called Klimmen. When you translate it, well, not only when you translate it, it's the same in Dutch, but Klimmen is climbing. So there is a Dutch place name called Climbing. We also have a place, ooh, my voice flipped over. That got really high all of a sudden. We have also a place name, also quite in the neighborhood, that is Echt. If you translate Echt, you get really. So the place name is called Really, which I actually always found funny. Let's see. We have like a more known city. And that's a bit more in the region I came from originally. And you might have heard of it, but I don't think so. But it's one of the bigger cities of the Netherlands, Eindhoven. Well, if you translate it, you get end yards. Yeah, it's not a funny one, but it's a strange one. End yards. So I started looking up some, well, strange names. And I found one that I even in Dutch was like, seriously, is that a place name? One, for instance, is Hongerige Wolf. Which, again, if you translate, you get Hungry Wolf. So there is an actual Dutch place name that is called Hungry Wolf. In like animal traditions, let's call it like that, we also have a place called Zwart Schaap, which is a black sheep. Which was like, wait, what? One of the... well, actually we have more in the neighborhood. I'm looking here again. We have Veilen, which is to file. We have Beek, which is like a creek or a stream. No. Let me think of what... I'll put it in here in the screen. What is the actual proper translation of Beek? If it is creek or stream. And also with that one we have Aalbeek, which is then Eel Creek or stream. We again in the neighborhood have a place called, I believe it is in the neighborhood, which is called Herten, which is translated to deers. Oh dear. And then we have a little bit more out of the way, but it is like a couple of minutes. Well, for like Dutch regions, it still is quite close, but not as far. We have Valkenburg. Actually, that is the place where it is believed that the person on who D'Artagnan from the Three Musketeers, the actual person where it's based on, had died. As far as I understood, he even had his last breakfast in Valkenburg, in the castle that actually belongs now to André Rieu. But the city of Valkenburg, city, town, whatever it actually is, if you translate it, is like a falcon burrow. So yeah, that's a strange one. But then we seriously have a really, really strange one. There is a place called Dood. And that translated means death. So there is an actual Dutch place called Death. And to fit in the theme, we also have Doodstil, which is death quiet. So yeah. If you actually start looking at place names, you can find out you have quite strange names that you didn't know of before. So I challenge you, look on Google Maps or even just on Google itself and type in funny or strange names, or just start looking on Google Maps, obviously. Just start looking for strange names that you have in your country. Let me know how many you find that you didn't know, without going like to look at every city there is, city or place or something. But yeah, I still have some more, so I'm just going to scratch through what I have. Bum, 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 bum. There we have it. I still have some, and I'm sure if you like it, I can find more. Well, there are way more. But also I'm trying to keep them neat, because there were some places that were like, yeah. Oh, I still am under an hour. That's good. But yeah, if you like these random, strange and funny Dutch, well, place names, let me know. I hope you also enjoyed like the little birth stories of my kids and my random temper tantrums, and obviously me stumbling over my own words, because that was a lot of it today. But yeah, I'm sorry if this video was a too long one for you. I hope you still enjoyed it. If you did, well, you know the drill. And I hope to see you in next time. Bye.